Hello, 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 everyone. It is 8 o'clock, and we are live here on Facebook. Good evening to you. We've got a lot to talk about tonight. Finally, for the first time, finally, for the first time in a while, we've got something to talk about that doesn't have to do with smoke, with wildfires, with drought. So we're really excited here for what's coming our way here in the next couple of days. So I'm going to walk you through the storm. And then if you have questions, of course, you can post those, and I'll try to get to those as we go through what we're going to be talking about here in the next a few minutes or so. So we'll jump sort of right into things and start taking a look at what's going to happen here in the next couple of days. We start with a 12-hour loop of radar and satellite data. There is not a whole lot going on there, at least to the naked eye. It doesn't look like it, but this is actually our next weather maker. In the upper levels here, we are organizing an area of low pressure, and this will eventually become the storm system that brings us so many changes here in the next couple of days. We call it our next weather maker. We're always looking ahead, always tracking what's coming our way. Tuesday is still going to be hot and dry. All right, there's no change in our weather here for Tuesday, but that cold front is developing right now, and the upper level energy is getting going way up here in Canada. And there is a lot of chilly air that's way up there. It's been bottled up there for a while, and I can promise you it's on the way to Montana. It is coming our way later this week, and I know so many people are excited about this here. We still have some questions regarding the storm and its impact on Montana. So, for example, as we look here at the upper level low, now this is the upper low that's going to be spinning down, and this will help bring down some of the cooler air into Montana. There's a lot of chilly air up here. The question is, how far south can we get this chilly air? I'm pretty confident that we're going to have a deep trough of low pressure in like this. So when we go here, we're going to be seeing plenty of that here. We're going to get in on the chilly air. It's not like it's going to miss us as we get into, again, the next couple of days. Friday, Saturday. Saturday morning is going to be very chilly out there. Here is a wide view of FutureTrack, and remember, this is one computer forecast model that we use to help predict weather. We start Tuesday evening here, not a whole lot going on. Wednesday morning, there could be a few isolated showers, maybe a thunderstorm. Then as we go into Wednesday night and Thursday, we start to turn this thing around. Watch as the rain really gets going here Thursday afternoon into Thursday evening. It's going to rain Thursday night. It's going to rain Friday. It is still going to be raining Friday morning and into Friday night. And here we go. We keep talking about that S word again, right? We are expecting snow in the mountains as we go into late Friday and Friday night. So we are getting very confident in that happening. Now, I'm going to show you two forecast models here. This is the European model, very reliable model that will get us all the way through Saturday. And you see this wide area of dark green on your screen. We are talking 1 to 2, maybe 3 inches of rain in some of those areas. All right, that's the European model. We skip forward now to the American model. This is the GFS, and notice it's almost the exact same area circled here in the dark green. 1 to 2 inches, again, of rain on the way here later this week. And so that leads us to high confidence. When we talk about our confidence level in something happening, in a storm taking shape, we look at model consistency, and that's exactly what we're seeing here, not only for Great Falls, but our friends in Helena. Same story. We're thinking anywhere from about 3/4 of an inch of rain to 1.5 inches, maybe 2.5 inches of rain here, again, later this week. And I know a lot of you are excited about the snow, the prospect of snow, not because we're ready for summer to be over. We're just ready for some relief from the hot, dry conditions. I know we are all ready for that. This is the snow forecast going through Saturday. Now this is a very wide grid, as we call it, okay? The resolution on this model is not very tight. So when you see these big blobs, no, we're not going to get snow in Great Falls. It's not going to be snowing from Butte to Bozeman to Billings, okay? We're mainly looking at snow above 6,000 feet in elevation. And so that's going to include the Rocky Mountain front. It's going to include mountains in central Montana. Perhaps even Kings Hill Pass could get snow, and a couple of inches of snow will be possible there as well. So again, I urge you to use caution when you see this map on TV, when you see this online. This particular resolution here, not great. And so again, we're not looking at snow at lower elevations. This is mainly going to be above 6,000 feet. It'll be the first snow of the season here for many areas, from, say, Glacier National Park down to Yellowstone, out into the mountains of southern and central Montana. And this is one of those storms I like to call a game changer. This will ultimately turn everything around for us. It has been so hot and so dry for so long. This is not going to end the drought by any stretch of the imagination. When we get on the backside of this storm, Saturday, Sunday, we're still going to be in a drought. All right, that takes place over a large period of time. We don't just get some rain and then we're done with the drought. But we need every bit we can get. This is a start. And ultimately, this marks a pattern change for us. So we're looking at the pattern overall beginning to change around. We're going to start bringing storm systems in here, it looks like, a little bit more regularly. I was looking at some of the long-term data just a few minutes ago. There are indications that another storm arrives toward the middle part of next week, say late Tuesday, Wednesday. Maybe some rain with that. So I do think that we're going to start bringing in storm systems a little bit more regularly here over the next couple of weeks, starting to change things around. Doesn't mean we're going to end the drought all of a sudden, but it's going to cut down the fire danger significantly and really give our firefighters quite a bit of help. Sue is loving the pattern change. She's ready for fall. Mary is worried about lightning. I do think that on Wednesday, initially, as the cold front comes through, we see the moisture streaming in. We're going to see a couple of thunderstorms, but I think they're mainly going to be wet storms, okay? I know when we talk about thunderstorms, we talk about rain, we talk about lightning here, duh. A lot of times we get dry storms. They produce lots of lightning but very little rain. These will be wet storms. They'll produce rain. It'll be a wetting rain. And so there's good news there. We are so excited for our firefighters, again, to finally get some help from the very dry conditions that we have had here in the last few months. It has been a very, very rough summer. Let's talk temperatures here from our next weather maker, because not only are we going to get rain and we're going to get mountain snow, but it is going to get cold. No, we're not going to go below zero, not that kind of cold, but it is still going to be cold here toward the end of summer, beginning of fall. Wednesday, temperatures starting to drop. Here we go. 60s in Cut Bank, 70s in Great Falls, 80 in Helena. Angie's worrying about temperatures there in Cut Bank. Let's talk about it as we go into Thursday, because it's going to get even colder on Thursday. 46 in Cut Bank. These are high temperatures. 55, Great Falls. Havre, 53. So it's going to get cooler. And then by Friday, look at this, highs in the 40s and low 50s out there. So I do think that Friday is going to be the coolest day. Now, in terms of the low temperatures, if you're worried about the plants outside, I think you've got to look out, especially up in northern Montana, especially on the High Line, Thursday night and again Friday night. That's when we're expecting to see temperatures drop down into the mid-30s. And of course, we got to worry about frost. When we get that cold, we're talking about the first frost of the season possible there. So if you're worried about your plants, I would go ahead and cover them up, take precautions there, because we could see frost, especially here Saturday morning. Jeff is wondering about frost around Great Falls. I do think that early Saturday morning, probably from about 4:30 to 7 a.m., there will be a window there where we could maybe see our first frost of the season as we drop down to about 35, 36 in Great Falls. Steve is wondering about the Alice Creek fire. That has been, of course, plaguing parts of Lewis and Clark County there along Highway 200. We are expecting some significant relief for the Alice Creek fire, which is good news because firefighters, we know, they need the relief. And we do think that it is going to be on the way there as we get into Thursday and Friday. Doesn't mean they're going to get 2 inches of rain, but perhaps 3/4 of an inch of rain, an inch of rain. You know what, at this point, we'll take what we can get as long as there's no lightning involved here. So let's talk about the bottom line with this storm, kind of walk you through the details. We are confident, there is high confidence that it is going to bring much colder air, some rain and snow to Montana. Rain and snow to Montana. We haven't said that, geez, it's been so long since we've been able to say that. In terms of rain amounts, widespread rain amounts of about a 1/2 inch to 2 inches, so that's going to be sort of your mean right in there, and up to 3 inches of rain there in spots. There are going to be some locally higher amounts of rain. And yes, we keep talking about snow. Snow is likely above 6,000 feet. Several inches of snow will be possible Thursday, late Thursday, I would say, into Friday and Friday night. Danette's worried about hail. Not expecting any hail. We could have some graupel, which forms differently. Graupel is not hail. It is known as soft hail. When you press it, it actually compresses, it squeezes, whereas hailstones you have to break apart to get through them. We're not expecting hail. We're not expecting severe weather from this storm. There could be some strong winds with any thunderstorms that develop on Wednesday, but beyond that, Thursday, Friday is just going to be plain old rain here. Vicky's wondering about the wind. I think the strongest winds, if we see any wind or gusty winds, will come Wednesday with the cold front moving through. With any thunderstorms that develop there could be some stronger wind gusts, but Thursday and Friday, I don't think are going to be windy at all. It'll just be cooler again as we go Thursday and Friday. So we'll just wait for that. We're excited there for the rain and, of course, the snow. Mary, thanks for joining us. Thanks for watching. We appreciate it here. If you have any questions, of course, feel free to ask as we chat through the next few minutes, talking about the fire season and talking about drought relief for the Treasure State. We need the rain. Mark's wondering, will this be enough rain to put the fires out? Hard to say. And typically we are waiting for the first snow of the season to put out any and all fires because that snow smothers the fire, blankets the area, and as it begins to melt and seep into the soil, we begin to really quell the fire danger altogether. And so as we go into Thursday and Friday, I do think the mountains, again, 6,000 feet, 7,000 feet, 8,000 feet, we're going to get the snow there. We're not going to get the snow at lower elevations, but we're going to get the rain. And so the rain is going to help here, certainly. Again, snow above 6,000 feet. Mary Jo, I know you were asking about that. So that's coming. The snow is coming here for the mountains later this week. As we go to Thursday and we go to Friday, that'll be coming. I think mainly Friday. That's when we start to see the coldest air start to move in. Mary's wondering about Lincoln. Are we going to get snow in Lincoln, or are we going to get rain there? It's mainly going to be a rain event. I think once you go way up into the mountain peaks there, we're talking about a changeover to snow. But at this point, I am not expecting snow in Lincoln. That could change, though. All of this could change. But we're going to keep tracking this, pinpointing the details. Now, here's what's not going to change. This storm is not all of a sudden just going to move away from us and we miss out. That in no way is going to happen. Could the rain amounts go up? Still could. Could the rain amounts go down? Absolutely. Could we get more snow than we expect? Absolutely. And so that is certainly a possibility as well. Mary Jo is wondering about Kalispell. Going to get rain there. I'm going to take you back here and just give you a quick look at the rain amounts. Remember, we look at a number of different forecast models here when we're talking about rain. This is the European model. Extremely reliable model. I know I get a lot of folks joking and asking all the time, well, what's the difference between the models? Well, we utilize a number of different models. And some models are better at some things. Some models are horrible at some things. And so here's the European model. This is a fantastic model. Kalispell, you're going to be on the back edge of this, unfortunately. As we look here, we're really not expecting northwest Montana to get a lot of relief from this particular storm. This is mainly going to be central, southern, and eastern Montana. Remember, areas that are in an exceptional drought. Here's the GFS model, or the American model, and we almost see the exact same setup. Okay, rain here, central and eastern Montana, and out to the west. We're going to get some rain. It is going to get cooler, but we are not going to get a ton of rain there on, say, the Lolo Peak fire or the Rice Ridge fire burning near Seeley Lake. The fires that are still burning in northwest Montana. But we're certainly going to be getting some relief for central and eastern Montana. I want you to think of this storm setting up right along the Rockies and then east of there. Okay, so Interstate 15 and east, those are the areas that are going to really, really benefit from this storm. Remember, that's an area that's in an exceptional drought. Michelle's wondering about the air quality. Absolutely. I really think once we get some rain in here later this week, the fire danger overall is going to come down. We're going to see less fire behavior on a lot of the fires across western central Montana because of the cooler temperatures, the higher humidity. Fires need dry air. They like gusty winds to keep spreading, and that's when you see all that smoke. We get the fire behavior going up here during the late afternoon and evening hours because of what we see there. We got another question here from Josh. He's wondering about, will this initial pattern pose a sharp wind shift issue for fire suppression, for firefighters? At this point, no. And that's something we've been analyzing here behind the scenes, whether or not we get strong winds as the front moves through on Wednesday. And right now, it doesn't appear that we're going to get strong winds. I think if we see strong winds Wednesday, it will come from any thunderstorm that develops. And if one of those thunderstorms gets a little rowdy, we'll get some strong winds from that. But that's about it. This front is going to sail through, and then the cooler air just starts to filter in. And so by Thursday, it's going to feel like fall all across the Treasure State. That storm, remember, is still developing tonight. There's still a lot to talk about when it comes to this storm overall. When we look here at the radar and satellite over the Gulf of Alaska right now, there's not a whole lot going on, but believe it or not, this is actually our next storm that's developing, and that's headed our way. The upper level energy is getting itself together here. We've got a cold front that's developing as well. Tuesday, tomorrow is still going to be hot and dry. Okay, don't let me catch you off guard here. Let's not get too ahead of ourselves. It is going to be hot. It is going to be dry tomorrow. And then, as we go into Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, that's when we turn things around. That cold front is developing as we speak. It will move through the state here as we go through Wednesday, and then behind it, Thursday and Friday, we're going to tap into some pretty chilly air, and so we're going to get in on all of that. If you're wondering about North Dakota or Wyoming, all of the Northern Rockies are going to feel the effects of this. We're going to get in on that cooler air, but most of the rain is going to be right in Montana. In fact, let me switch you over here. And actually, we'll take a look at the particular model run for this event. We'll look at the rain here. Here's Future Track. And so as we go through Tuesday, remember, still hot, still dry. That's not going to change. We get into Tuesday night, and look down to the south and west of Montana. Here we go. You start to see clouds and a few showers and storms there. All of that moisture begins to move up into Montana as we go into Wednesday. So we're going to be pumping in moisture as we go into Wednesday. You're not going to really notice it. You're maybe not even going to feel it, but all of this moisture is going to be streaming in from the southwest here during the day on Wednesday. And so, as we get that area of low pressure to move through, to spin through, we're going to see the rain start to develop Thursday. Here we go, Thursday, 6 a.m. Going through the day Thursday, look at all this rain. Now, this is not going to be a solid shield of rain extending all the way back here into Idaho and Nevada, but we are going to get rain all across the west for the first time in a long time. And then it's just going to continue. In fact, the bulk of it is going to be right over Montana as we go through Thursday night and Friday. In fact, that's when I think the heaviest will come, Thursday night into Friday. And then we are still going to be talking about rain through Friday, into Friday night, as this begins to move north and east and away from us. And notice, again, remember what's happening on the back side of this. We've got colder air moving in. So what do we have going on here? We've got snow developing in the mountains of southwest Montana early Saturday morning and going into Friday night. So a lot happening. We've got a good question. Armando's wondering if the cool air will stay. I don't see us going back to the 90s next week at all. Looks like we are going to be in the 70s, and then there is another storm that is headed our way toward the end of next week. We've got Teresa over here saying, my favorite phrase of the week, I'll believe it when I see it. Well, if you're not a believer, you don't have to watch. You can find another source for weather. That phrase we've had that phrase all over the place in the last couple of days. We are forecasters. You know this drill. We're here for you around the clock predicting these storms. And so we work hard to get it right. And when we're wrong, we'll tell you. And when we're right, of course, we'll tell you as well. But we work very hard to do our jobs well and to make sure that you're prepared for anything that's coming our way. So if you want to wait to believe it, stand outside Friday morning. There you go. If you've got any other questions, of course, we'd be happy to take those as we talk through this storm and what's coming our way. You know, I just the buzz around town right now is that a lot of folks are excited. We are very excited for this to come and really just give our firefighters relief. You know, it has been so long since we have seen significant rain. We've had a few showers, we've had a few thunderstorms, and so we're excited. There's just a buzz around town, as you can tell, from folks that are really excited for the rain, the colder air, and just a break from it all. Sitting here in the studio right now on the north side of Great Falls, we can smell the smoke. My eyes are burning. You can feel that here. And so we're tired of it. We're ready for a break here in Montana. We've got Irma still going on out east, and you know, of course, our thoughts and prayers are with folks there. We've also, you know, we're still talking about Harvey. Harvey is not done. The impacts from that will be long coming here. But Montana is dealing with its own problems, and so, you know, we've had a rough time over the last few months, and so we're really excited here for a storm that will finally begin to change things around. Ellen's wondering about the forest floor. Will this really get in there and soak in the forest floor? You got to think about this. When we have these large wildfires burning, there is immense heat. We're not just talking about, oh, it's hot above the fire. There is immense heat being radiated from that fire. A lot of times when we get rain, when we get light rain, that rain actually evaporates before it even reaches the forest fire itself because it is so hot. There's so much heat coming from that. We do think that we're going to get some bands of heavier rain to develop here and more of a soaking rain to develop. And so that's good news. We need that, and that will certainly help there, of course, maybe quell the fire danger in some of the forest areas. Western Montana is not going to get a ton of rain out of this. Got to give you a heads up on that. It's mainly going to be central and eastern Montana, again, that gets in on the heavier rain. So, again, as we go through this week, into this weekend, we're going to keep our eye on this storm and how it really pans out here. But we are thinking at least that quite a bit of rain on the way for central, eastern Montana, even into North Dakota. Remember, North Dakota, right along with Montana, We've been brothers here in this drought over the last few months, exceptional drought throughout Montana and North Dakota dealing with drought as well. So they're going to get some rain out of this as well. And now again, next week when you see the drought monitor after this storm, we're still going to be in a drought. It's going to take a lot more than this to really help things out, but this is a jump in the right direction. And Tom said it best, this is nothing short of a blessing here for Montana, so certainly welcome. Suzanne's wondering about Lincoln. We keep talking about the Lincoln area here. Still expecting to see rain there. More than likely about a ½ inch, maybe an inch of rain in the Lincoln area as we go through Thursday and Friday. Could get quite a bit of chilly air. Temperatures there may actually drop off well into the 30s at night, so our first frost of the season will be possible. Again, we've talked about snow levels coming down to about 6,000 feet during the day on Friday and then Friday night, and so as that colder air moves in, the snow levels drop more and more, and so some of the mountain passes are going to get in on that, but I don't expect to see rain and snow, or at least the snow, I should say, at lower elevations. We've got a couple of questions here. Mary's wondering about Butte. Butte going to get in on the rain, the cooler air likely staying as all rain, and more than likely about 3/4 of an inch to an inch of rain there. Leanne's wondering about Great Falls. We've talked about this here in detail. About 3/4 of an inch to an inch and a half of rain for the Electric City here again Thursday and a Friday, and it's going to get chilly as well. Phillipsburg, less rain, Tina, for Phillipsburg. We're still going to get some rain, and it is going to get cooler. Don't let me forget about that. It is going to get cooler. We're going to increase the humidity quite a bit there for some of those areas, but we're still not talking about a significant rain, at least we don't think, for the Phillipsburg area. We go back through these again. This is the European model. We talked about the Butte, Phillipsburg area, right on the edge of that 1 inch range here. So mainly from Interstate 15 on east, that's where we're talking about the significant rain, an inch or two, as we go through again Thursday into Friday, and that cooler air is going to be moving in as well. It is going to feel like fall as we get into, again, later this week. So we're excited about that. All right. As we bring you back out here, we are wrapping this up here. It is almost 8:30. Want to give you a push here. A lot of you are always asking for weather updates around the clock. You're always asking us on Facebook. Let me tell you the best tool that we've got. It's our STORMTracker Weather app. This is free to download. And we have just gotten some brand new features in this app that they're my favorite. I can draw on a map right around your street, right around your house, and I can send you a push alert right to your phone with information that only relates to you. So talk about customized forecasts. Now, it doesn't mean we're going to be doing that every day. But it gives us the ability to really get down to street level and to alert you to things that are happening where you live, where it matters to you the most. So we're going to be using that. We've also been posting video updates around the clock. So right underneath the fire weather warning that's up there right now, later in about 10 minutes from now, you're going to see a new video update here from us as we update the forecast. And of course, we've got about an hour and a half until the 10 o'clock news. I'm going to be looking over some new data in the next few minutes. We'll regroup here in an hour and a half, and I'll have the very latest for you coming up on the 10 o'clock news. And of course, I urge you to stay tuned throughout the week because we'll continue to fine-tune this forecast. We're going to continue to update things and keep you up to date here over the next couple of days as this storm develops. We're not done with this yet. And of course, this is only the beginning of winter. Eventually, winter's coming. We all know that. I hate to pull that from Game of Thrones. I know. But eventually, Game of Thrones will win, and winter is coming. We'll be there. We'll have the snow, and we'll get through it. It's Montana. Thanks so much for watching. Again, we'll see you back on the 10 o'clock news for the very latest here on our approaching storm.